All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to tackle one of the trickiest, most tested parts of the beauty licensing exam, safety and sanitation. If you can nail this part, you are one giant step closer to getting that pass. So let me ask you something. What do you think is the #1 reason students fail their state board exam? I bet it's not what you think.
It's not about a lack of skill with a comb or a curling iron. Nope. It almost always comes down to getting 3 very specific words mixed up. And if you get these wrong, you're just throwing away easy points.
And here they are. These are the 3 culprits: sanitation, disinfection, and sterilization. Yeah, they sound kind of similar, but on your exam, they are worlds apart. So today, we're going to make the difference crystal clear, once and for all. Okay, let's break this all down. I want you to think of it like a ladder of cleanliness, right? We're going to start on the very bottom rung and climb our way up to the highest possible level. So first up is sanitation. This is level 1. It's really all about what you can physically see. We're talking about washing with soap and water, getting rid of all that hair and product buildup. Sanitation makes things look clean, but, and this is a big but, it doesn't kill all the germs. It's just the very first, absolutely necessary step. Next, we climb up to disinfection. Now, this is level 2, and it's a huge, huge focus on the exam. This is where you're actually destroying the bad stuff, the harmful microorganisms like bacteria and viruses. And pay attention to these key words: harmful microorganisms and non-porous tools. That means hard surfaces that don't soak up liquid, like your plastic combs or metal clips. Disinfection kills a lot, but it doesn't kill everything. And here we are, at the very top of the ladder, sterilization. This is the big one. It's the complete and total elimination of all microbial life. That includes the really tough ones, like bacterial spores. The key word here is all. This is what they do for medical instruments. It's the highest level there is. So here it is, this simple breakdown. Sanitation, it just gets rid of the visible dirt. Disinfection, that takes out the harmful germs. And sterilization, it kills absolutely everything. That's the core difference, and that's exactly what the PSI exam is going to test you on. Now listen up, because this is a huge pro tip and a really common trap on the test. For your shampoo and styling license, you do not need to sterilize your tools. The exam might try to trick you with an answer that says sterilize, but you need to remember, for what you're doing, that's total overkill, and it's not required. Okay, so just knowing you need to disinfect is only half the battle. The exam is going to get picky. It's going to test you on how you do it and if you're using the right stuff. So let's dive into the specific rules, because these little details are what get you a passing score. You have got to memorize this definition. Contact time. It's a PSI favorite. See, it's not enough to just quickly wipe something down. The disinfectant has to stay wet on that surface for a specific amount of time to actually do its job. It's usually written right there on the bottle. Think of it this way: the chemical needs time to work, to break down the germs. If you wipe it off too soon, you've basically done nothing. Now, what's really interesting here is the order of operations. You got to follow all 4 steps, in order. But I want you to pay extra close attention to step number 3, observing contact time. Rinsing a tool too early or not keeping a surface wet long enough means you haven't actually disinfected anything. This is where so many people get the exam questions wrong.
And let's just hammer this home, because it's so important. You cannot disinfect a dirty item. It's impossible. Just think about it. If you spray disinfectant over a clump of hair on a brush, how can the chemical reach the surface underneath? It can't. Cleaning first, sanitizing is absolutely non-negotiable.
So we know the rules now, but what can we actually use them on? Well, the exam makes a really clear distinction between 2 types of materials: porous and non-porous. And right here, this is the dividing line. Non-porous items, things with a hard surface like plastic combs, your brushes, metal clips, these can and absolutely must be disinfected. But porous items, things that are absorbent like towels, neck strips, or cotton, you just can't properly disinfect them. This is an absolute, hard and fast rule for your test. You never, ever disinfect a towel or a neck strip. Those items are either single-use, and you toss them, or they get laundered exactly according to your state board regulations. Okay, so you've got the knowledge, you know the rules. Now let's actually put it into practice. We're going to look at how these rules actually show up as exam questions, and more importantly, how to avoid the common traps PSI loves to set for you. All right, take a deep breath. Let's try a question that feels like it's pulled straight from exam day. Ready? What is the best method for disinfecting a comb? Now just look at your choices. A, that's just sanitation, right? B is incomplete. D is just rinsing. You need to think about the complete process we just talked about. What's the best answer here?
And the correct answer is C. Of course it is. It's the gold standard answer because it is the most complete. It talks about using the right stuff, an EPA-registered disinfectant, and crucially, it mentions that all important required contact time. The other answers, they're just pieces of the puzzle. C is the whole picture.
Okay, let's try one more. Which item must be discarded after use? Now, this one is testing your knowledge of porous versus non-porous, but it's got a little safety twist thrown in. And the answer is C, a towel with blood. See, even though a normal towel would just be laundered, the second it's contaminated with blood, it becomes a biohazard. It has to be disposed of properly in a labeled bag. Safety first, always. So let's just boil this all down. If you can walk into your exam with these 5 key facts locked in your brain, you're going to be in fantastic shape. 1. Sanitation just cleans the visible stuff. 2. Disinfection is what kills the harmful germs. 3. You do not need to sterilize for your license. 4. Always use an EPA-registered disinfectant. And 5. Never, ever forget that contact time is critical. Master those, and you've mastered this section. Look, you've seen the difference between the 3 key terms, you know the process, and you've seen exactly how they test it. The confusion is gone. You're not just ready to pass this thing, you're ready to be a safe, responsible, amazing professional. Now go get that license. You've got this.